Without further ado, I want you all to give a loud round of applause and show your appreciation and listening in Groundings for Brother Nuri Muhammad.
Assalamu alaikum. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness that irregardless to land, language, label, creed, class, or color, race, religion, or ritual, no matter what name you call him by, there is but one God. We thank that one God for his messengers, his warners, his prophets, and the revealed word that came through each one of them to help provide us with guidance. For life without guidance is really death in disguise. We are thankful to them for Moses and the Torah. We thank him for Jesus and the gospel. We thank him for Muhammad and the Holy Quran. I can't even see y'all. Y'all can see me though?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on out there. Y'all could be doing anything. I don't know. But, you know, that's just the rules. So we are thankful to them for them bringing us light to help us to have guidance in the time of darkness. I'm a student of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and as a student, I am greatly appreciative and deeply in debt to the intervention of God in the affairs of us here in the wilderness of North America, in the person of a man named Master Fard Muhammad and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And today we are so thankful that there is one among us that has not bowed down to this enemy. He doesn't scratch where he does not itch. He doesn't bend when nobody's dropped nothing. He has never compromised. He is unbossed and unbothered. The man that I'm talking about is the man that taught me everything that I know, and is the example of the man that I hope to one day become. That is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. It's in their names. Yes, we can do that. We can do that tonight. It's in their names, sisters and brothers, that I preach in the decree words of peace of Assalamu alaikum. Let's give Brother Linton and a great round of applause for putting such a beautiful program together. You can't even tell this is his first time doing this. But we are grateful to him and what he's done throughout the space of social media to be able to create a platform where we can get knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to our people that will liberate our people once and for all from the bondage that we've been in mentally, spiritually, economically, emotionally, and physically.
Yes, indeed.
So I got 30 minutes to try to make this happen. We were in, I believe it was Seattle, doing a press conference a few months back, and I didn't have anything prepared, but as I was standing there, I believe that the Lord of the worlds put something in my head to put in the atmosphere for this press conference that I want to share with you as a concept today. I said that we will never get the hood right until we get the home right. And if we are serious about saving our people, we have to be serious about saving the family. The first institution created by God was not the church, was not the mosque, not the temple, not the synagogue, not even the school. The first institution created by God was the family. And just for the sake, and the family that he had according to the scripture was not set up in the middle of a parking lot at a restaurant. But Adam and Eve was in the garden of Eden. What grows in gardens? Vegetables and fruit. Y'all had a plant-based lunch? Yes. I just wanted to put that out in the atmosphere. One of the first things we have to do to get the home right so we can get the hood right is we got to get our diet back in alignment with the nature of the original man. And we were not created in the beginning. We were not this flesh-eating people. According to the scripture, when you look at the life expectancy of man from Adam to Noah, the average life expectancy was 912 years. But after Noah, from Noah to Jesus, it went down to 212 years. What was the difference? Between Adam and Noah, they took every herb-bearing seed as meat, meaning they were vegetarians. But after Noah, the flood came, and now meat was allowed to be. They still wouldn't eat no swine flesh. But they start eating lamb, and they start eating chicken, they start eating turkey, and they start eating goat. And just by allowing flesh to come into the equation, the life expectancy of man was reduced by 700 years. Now you look at us right now. We put on top of that flaming hot Cheetos. We put on top of that Taco Hell, McDevils, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Chick-fil-A, Murder King, Long John Killers. We got all kinds of stuff on the market right now. And now our life expectancy now is at the most for the black male 68 years and for the black female 72 years, when we were built to last 1,000. So the original family was not placed in a restaurant parking lot. The first family created by God was placed in a garden. And if we gonna get our home back right, we gotta start getting into the garden again and start eating what comes from the garden. That's another lecture for another time. My subject is how to love a black woman and how to love a black man. You do know that there is a difference between loving a white person and loving a black person, because the two have two different cultures, environments, upbringings, and according to the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, two different natures. Even Betty Crocker knows that in order for you to get the same result, depending on where you are located, you have to tailor-make the recipe for the environment that that person lives in. So if there's a recipe for a chocolate cake, the recipe is different in Denver than it is in New Orleans. Why? Because Denver is the mile-high city and New Orleans is the lowest point. So in order for you to get the same result, the recipe has to be a little bit different. So it is with black people. In order for us as a black people to get our family right, we can't follow Robert's rules of orders. We can't follow the traditional pattern that comes from the psychologists of the white man's world. We have to have a specific teaching and training that is unique to us. Right now, we're not in Denver, we're in New Orleans right now. We need a special recipe to make this chocolate cake. Do you know, sisters and brothers, it's no coincidence that when you look at the three primary areas that black people today have problems, they are rooted in what the Caucasian government made as a rule that we would never be taught. In 1867, it's on the documents in the Congressional Library in Washington, D.C. They had a meeting in 1867, 2 years up from Emancipation Proclamation. And they were discussing whether they were going to let Negroes get college education. And when they made the proposal on the halls of Congress, two things came out. They say, yeah, we'll give them or let them get a college education, but they can't come to our schools. And when they set up their schools, there's 3 sciences that must never be given to the slaves. And that was the science of warfare, the science of finance, and the science of mating. And if you look at our problems, those are the 3 areas we got problems in. We kill each other, but we've never killed our enemy. We kill one another over $5 or over a scuff on a tennis shoe, but we let the enemy get away with whatever they want to do. And you know we don't have the science of business because we are the only people on the planet that spend 97% of our money with the white man and still blame him for nearly 100% of our problems. Something wrong with that math. We are the leaders in unnecessary spending. We buy what we don't need with money that we don't have from people that we don't like to impress people that we don't even know. Wow. Is this the truth? Right now, black people in America brought in the last 3 years $1.3 trillion. That makes us, in the compilation of 226 nations, we are the 8th richest nation on the planet. We have coming in double the income of Mexico and almost double the income of Spain. Yet Mexico is taking care of 103 million people, and Spain's taking care of 47 million people on a 208,000 square mile landmass, and they have their own train system, airports, own school system. They have their own government. They have their own world on half the money we have. We have the same population as Spain, but we don't have nothing that we can call our own. We have never been taught the science of finance. And then the other side of it. Do you know right now that black people in America have a higher divorce rate than people in third world nations? People living in mud huts with no running water are maintaining their bond husband to wife better than we are as black people in America with all the stuff we have. Right now, black people in America have a 75% divorce rate. This means for every 4 couples you see, 3 of them are not going to make it. We have never been taught the science of mating. Well, what is mating? If we were talking about mating of horses or dogs or chickens or any animal, the process of mating is picking the right male and female to come together with the goal of producing offspring that will share both the DNA that came from the male and the female we brought together. So whenever we want to have pedigree dogs, when they want to have pedigree stallions, they bring the male and the female together that have a certain type of DNA, so that when they come together and they produce from themselves, the offspring will have their DNA, which puts them in a position where they have inherited preparation. And they're constitutionally fit to even be better than the mother and the father of their species was. So the first phase of mate selection is we have to know as a woman how to pick the right man. And we have to know as a man how to pick the right woman. Steve Harvey, he's quoted something that's in one of my books several times now, and he haven't gotten it all the way accurate, but he's doing pretty good with it. It's decent. But what he was saying on Shannon Sharp's interview and on his radio program, he was quoting the statement I made when I said this: the most important decision that we will ever make in our life after choosing belief in God is choosing the right mate to spend the rest of our lives with. For the mate we choose will either inspire us to grow into our greatness, or they'll confine us to complacency. They will either be our other half, or they'll make us half of ourselves. The minister said it like this: a good relationship brings out the best in you and makes you more youthful, while a bad relationship will bring out the worst in you and cause you to age prematurely. We've never been taught how to pick a mate. But I want to share a formula with you that I learned from my teacher one time at a dinner table. There is a law of compatibility between the male and the female. He said that as a woman, you should make a list of what an ideal man looks like for you. And as a man, we should make a list of what an ideal woman looks like for us. And as we are courting, getting to know the one that we hope to be that life partner, we should be looking for the characteristics that we have on our paper. Now, just a footnote. Whatever you do, sisters, don't give him the paper and say, this is what I'm looking for in a man, because he might fake it until he make it. And then the relationship will be messed up in the future. But you have, as this list, whatever you want. At the top of the list should be spiritual characteristics. After that should be personality traits. And the last thing you should have on the list is physical traits. No, nobody wants to bear witness. Okay, that's all right. That's all right. I know you got it. Yeah, no, you got to be 6 feet tall, dark skin, bald head. No, you better put that at the bottom of the list. In the Quran, there's a chapter 33, 35 that lists 10 characteristics spiritually that you should be looking for in an ideal man or ideal woman. It talks about a believing man and a believing woman, a charitable man and a charitable woman, an honest man and an honest woman, a woman and a man that fasts, a woman and a man that studies and preserves themselves and is noble and honorable. See, these are the characteristics that you should be looking for at the top of your list. Then now you got personality traits. Then you got some physical ones at the bottom, and the minister said that if the person that you are looking at to become your mate meets up to 70% of what you call an ideal man or ideal woman, that's a sign that compatibility is present. Our problem is that we are settling, and we find 3 out of 10. And think that, I'm going to put this love and this, that, and the other, and I'm going to treat this person and X, Y, and Z, and maybe later on there'll be the other stuff. Let me tell you something, brothers and sisters. If you marry someone that got 3 out of 10, you have not married a partner, you have married a project. And you don't want a project, you want a partner to help you with some projects. Does that make sense? So mating, science of mating, starts off with knowing how to pick the right one for us. Second side of mating, whenever they bring the stallion or the dog or the chicken or whatever species together, offspring comes forth from it. So the other side of mating is knowing how to be a good parent to the child that we brought into the world. Y'all right? So guess what, sisters? When you are thinking about that man, one of the key things you should have at the top of your list is, will he be a good father to my children? Brothers, one of the things at the top of our list has to be, will she be a good mother to my children? Why? Because whenever this first family was put into the garden, there was 4 instructions that was given to them. Number 1, be fruitful. 2, multiply. 3, replenish the earth. 4, subdue it. Do you know that the word replenish means to replace with something better? So the assignment of you and me as parents is not to make our children like us. Our assignment is to make our children better than us. We want to repopulate the planet with a higher grade of people than currently exist on this planet. So when we come together, we have to have as that top part of the top of the list, is she going to be a good mother and is he going to be a good father? Y'all all right? All praises are due to Allah. Before we were kidnapped and Caucasianized and westernized by our enemy, the black family was our power base. This is the reason why when Napoleon was hired by the English rulers to go through Africa and destroy all of the images of black excellence. Did y'all know that? He went inside of the mystery schools and got rid of all of the architects that were black. He went inside of the temples and got rid of all the true images of the messengers and prophets, which were black too. Only got 3 of y'all. You didn't know they was black? Abraham was mistaken for being an Egyptian. Egypt is in Africa. The word Egypt comes from a Greek word, Iepis, which means land of black and burnt-skinned people. Well, if he was mistaken for being an Egyptian, Abraham had to have black burnt skin. Moses said he stuck his hand into the bosom of the Lord, and when he took it out, it was turned white. Well, if it was turned white, it had to go in black. Job said that my skin is black. Solomon, the wisest man of the Bible, said, I am dark or black, but comely, O ye daughters of Jerusalem. And if Solomon was the son of David, when Jesus comes on the scene, he says, I am of the seed of David. Well, if you are in the seed of David, you're in the same bloodline as Solomon. If Solomon was black, David was black, that means Jesus was black too. So Napoleon went in and destroyed all of those images. Then he came and seen this figure. at the base of the last remaining wonder of the world called the Pyramid Giza, 451 feet high, goes down into the earth 451 feet deep, covers 13 and a half acres of land. It has 1 million blocks of gold and marble and granite stacked mathematically precise, each stone weighing 3.5 tons apiece, up in the air, down into the earth, not even deviating 1 square inch. And we, the black man and woman, we built that without John Deere and Caterpillar. We built it without a bulldozer or a crane. At that time, the mind of the original people was so powerful, we know how to impose mind over matter and move objects with our mind. Well, how did we get that kind of power? Do you know after he's seen this figure called the Sphinx at the base of this Pyramid Giza, he said, we got to make sure that this thing is damaged where they can't get rid of it. Easy was it for them to knock off all the pictures and burn all the pictures, but here you got a one figure that's 151 feet long, 70 some odd feet tall. How you gonna get rid of that image? So Napoleon in 1798 trained his cannons on the face and blew off the nose and the lips of the Sphinx. I know what they said in school. When you ask them, well, how did the nose and lips come on missing, they say it was just weather and time and natural erosion. Well, why come erosion didn't happen to the tail or the claws? Why come the ears still look so good? No, see that broad nose and thick lips. See, that Napoleon knew that there was something called image association in our minds. If the lion is the king of the jungle, and our head is on the lion, by image association, the message is going down the line of time from our ancestors that we are the king of this planet. Written underneath the Sphinx is Arabic words, Abu el-Hal, which means father of everything. See, you can't make a slave out of somebody that knows they're the father of everything. You can't make a slave out of someone that sees themselves as the king of the planet. So Napoleon had to blow the nose and lips off so that we wouldn't know that we were the kings. Then he went inside the Pyramid Giza. And right now you can go inside on a tour and you'll see Osiris, you'll see Asar, you'll see Alafun. These are the male black gods. But next to each one of them, you will see where it looks like somebody's been scraping the image away. Do you know what they were doing? See, they were scraping away the image of the woman that was with them. Why? Because not behind, but beside every great man has always been a great woman. So you never seen Osiris without his queen Isis. You never seen Alafun without his queen Illidan. You never seen Osar without Aset. They always work together. Why? Because the message is that we are independently with a certain amount of power, but when we come together, the synergism of a good black man and a good black woman coming together makes us powerful and unstoppable. So how many minutes left? 3, 2, 1. So there's 3 things that we noticed about what was on the pyramid walls. Number 1, there was no men with men. Did I say something wrong? No. Number 1, there was no men with men, no women with women. Number 2, none of them were boyfriend and girlfriend. In fact, we did a word search of nearly 70 translations of the Bible and 5 translations of the Holy Quran, and we looked up the word girlfriend and boyfriend. We couldn't find it in no scripture. This means girlfriend and boyfriend is not in the language of God. Well, if it's not in the language of God, whose language is it? Third thing we notice is that none of these black gods were with a white girl. Oh, sisters, I thought y'all was going to clap for that one right there. that was an alley-oop now. Yeah, we so messed. Do you know back in slavery, it used to be against the law for a black man to marry a black woman. Now today, you almost need to make a law to get him to do it. So if I'm saying that they didn't have no white woman back then, that's letting them say, that's turning them back to look toward you, the woman that's been the most loyal woman to us, more than any other woman that's been in any other race of people. Would you agree? So, man, I can't even do all of this, but hey, we're going to do it in the Q&A. We're putting it into the Q&A. But I'm going to put this out here as a homework assignment. There is a verse in the Bible in Ephesians 5:33 where the Lord of the world gives gender-specific commands on how a woman can get the best out of her man and how a man can get the best out of the woman. It says in these words, each one of you men must also love his wife as he loves himself, and the wife must respect her husband. Two different things. To get the best out of the woman, you've got to love her. To get the best out of the man, you got to give him respect. The language of the female is love. The language of the male is respect. The more honor you give the man, the better you can get the best out of that man. The more love that we show our women, the best we can get out of them. And I'm going to say this. They did a study in 2012 where they interviewed women all over the world to find out what women were really looking for, and it came up with this. They were looking for a man that was loyal to them, that would listen to them, that would love them, that would labor for them, and was a learned man that had laughter or a good sense of humor. And if we want to be able to make that black woman happy, we've got to possess all of those ingredients. Respect can be converted into an acronym. Y'all know what an acronym is, right? Acronyms, we have every word and every letter in the word represents another word. Like CIA is an acronym. It stands for the Cocaine Import Agency. FBI is an acronym, finding a black man to incarcerate. Media is an acronym, most effective devil in America. NAACP is an acronym, Negroes always asking Caucasians permission. That's what it has been. I'm not saying it's supposed to be, that's what it has been. The HOPE is an acronym, protector of pedophiles everywhere. That's what's been going on. Respect, R-E-S-P-E-C-T. This is the way you say, well, how's that for the man? I thought Aretha Franklin sang that song. Yes, she did sing it in 1967, but the original artist that sang the song and wrote the song was Otis Redding in 1965. And when he wrote the song, when they interviewed him and asked him what was the inspiration for the song, he said, I was writing this song to my wife. So it wasn't Aretha Franklin asking for respect. It was a man asking for respect from a woman, not a woman asking respect from a. If Aretha Franklin had wrote the song, she'd have said L-O-V-E, find out what it means to me, sock it to me, sock it to. There would have been respect. Now, don't get me wrong, both of us, we need respect and love. But love is water for a woman, while respect is food. Respect is water for a man, while love is food. If you convert it into an acronym, sisters, follow this simple formula. If you want to get the best out of your man, or show respect and honor to that man. If you want to eat, you want to get the best out of that man, esteem, show esteem to that man. What is esteem? It's showing that you appreciate him and that you love him. It's bragging about him in front of people that he respects. S, that means bless his sight by keeping yourself beautiful. Y'all all right with that? Do you know the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that our beauty is in our weight? He said for every 1 pound we are overweight, it takes away 1% of our beauty appearance. Some of us are overweight, 30, 40 pounds, and still beautiful. Imagine how beautiful you would be if you knocked them 30 pounds off. Bless, the S also stands with speech. Offer him kind speech. Y'all with me? Then the next one is what? P. Show your man as often as you can that you are proud of him. Then the next E is eat. Feed that man good food. Come on now. Calculate what that man's job is, his function is, and think about what will be the nutritional breakdown that will be required for that man to perform the task the best that he can. Don't just be a cook, don't just be a chef, sisters. As a wife, be a food scientist. Your laboratory is the kitchen. And when you putting in the ingredients and the proper herbs to give him what he needs to be successful tomorrow, make sure you put the most important ingredient in the pot, and that's the love you have for that man and your family. Then the next thing you see, show compassion to that man. Men are more sensitive than we act like we are. And last but not least, train your children to love their father. And if you train your children to love their father, you'll find that you can come and cook in that good food, and he'll show up tired from getting beat down in this white man's world. He'll smell that fresh bread cooking that you made and the vegetables cooking that you made with the garlic, and then he looks over, the house is clean, and you over there looking beautiful with a smile on your face, cute and comfortable. And then whenever the keys jingle, you train your children, look, when daddy comes home, I want you to show him that you love him, you appreciate him. He may not be at all the games, but the reason why we have food in the refrigerator is because your daddy loves you. The reason you got a bed in your bedroom is because daddy loves you. Go show your father some love. And when that black man comes home and he has a son jump on his leg, a daughter jump on his neck, and he looks over his shoulder and sees you back there with a smile on your face, looking beautiful, breathing in good food, you now have converted your home into a spiritual recharge center, where you both can unplug from this no good, wicked white man's world and come to a place of pure love and extract from that environment peace and power. That is how you love a black man. And that is how you love a black woman. Thank y'all for listening. I greet you in peace. Assalamu alaikum.